Is up, fellow thermonuclear AFers? I am Damp Valley coming at you with another reaction to some blockbuster NBA trades that can still happen this offseason, featuring many big names. Before we dive into this, though, just my usual reminder / plea to remember to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. It means a lot, helps the channel out a ton if you haven't done so already. Check out our Discord channel. The link is in the YouTube description, as are all our social accounts. Again, it helps this channel out a ton, so please remember to do that if this is your first time checking out the channel. Let's get into these, though. Blockbuster NBA trades that can still happen this offseason. I'm excited. I've not looked at these just yet. Let's see what we're working with. Mavericks get Mike Conley, like the fit right off the bat. Dallas receives Mike Conley. Jazz get a 2025 first, lottery protected, Josh Green, and then Davis Bertans. I'm not sure why the Jazz do this. I know Mike Conley has the large guarantee after this season, so there's I think almost $15 million of his salary in 23-24 is guaranteed on top of this year. And so if you don't want to deal with an older point guard and you're Dallas, I could understand why you would be reticent to give up a distant first. That being said, if you're also Utah, you're taking back some pretty bad money in Davis Bertans, money that extends a year further out than Mike Conley, certainly someone who spaces the floor. You would really need to like Josh Green, who had some nice moments this past season, still a little bit afraid to shoot, can really, is a pogo stick off the ground, though, and had some good defensive flashes. I just feel like the Jazz might be looking for more, or even Dallas. Why would you want to give up a distant first-round pick here just because you're already sort of pick-strapped? And if you trade this 2025 first, all of a sudden you can't trade a first until 2027. This feels like one of those instances where maybe both parties say no. Perhaps you're Dallas, you can talk yourself into Mike Conley's better than Davis Bertans, comes off a year earlier, even though he's more expensive. So I don't know who I like it better for the Mavericks, just because Conley next to Luka Doncic would be absolute fire in Dallas. But this feels like the price might be a little bit, although you're getting off Davis Bertans too. I might do it if I'm Dallas. I'm probably not doing it if I'm Utah. It feels like an instance where both squads might say no, though. That's sort of where I land with this. I like Conley in Dallas, though, if there's another way for him to get there. Raptors win the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes. I am intrigued, y'all. Toronto gets Donovan Mitchell. The Jazz receive Gary Trent Jr., Precious Achiuwa, Kem Birch, and 3 unprotected first-round picks in 23, 25, and 27. I like this for the Raptors a lot. Gary Trent Jr. is about to become a free agent. He has a player option in 2023, 2024. They need another shot creator in the half court. I know Donovan Mitchell doesn't fit their mold of big and long and super switchable. I have to imagine he will defend better because he does have the physical tools and even the length to disrupt on defense. Pairing him with Fred VanVleet, that is a very small backcourt, though. Maybe you don't care if you're dealing with so much size up front when you have Siakam and Scotty Barnes and Chris Boucher and Thaddeus Young and Otto Porter Jr. and OG Anunoby, forgot to mention him. And if you're able to keep OG Anunoby while getting a player like Donovan Mitchell and adding him to Siakam and Fred VanVleet, I would do it if I'm Toronto. If I'm Utah, their asking price from the Knicks has been 5 first-round picks and Quentin Grimes plus another young player plus additional picks from that. So I don't necessarily know why they would say yes to this. Gary Trent Jr. is still really young, fits everywhere. He's going to be a free agent, though, and you have to pay him. You'd have to be incredibly high on Precious Achiuwa. And if you're the Jazz, why would you settle for only 3 first-round picks from a Raptors team that historically has just been better than a Knicks team? So you want to short the Knicks' future. You don't want to short the Raptors' future. I think if Toronto really wanted to get in on the sweepstakes, you would have to replace Gary Trent Jr. with OG Anunoby, or maybe include both of them, and I wouldn't do that if I'm Toronto. Maybe just OG, but I would still be on the fence. I like the idea of Donovan Mitchell in Toronto, though. I can't imagine they'll go full bore after him so long as they're in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. With that said, though, if you're looking for a player that you could potentially acquire that really elevates your ceiling, your champion, and opens your championship window without even having to think about putting Scotty Barnes on the table, I would assume Donovan Mitchell is that player. Could they include a 2029 first and some swaps to kind of make this package look more attractive? Again, I would do this exact framework if I'm Toronto. If I'm Utah, though, I'm pushing for OG. I'm pushing for more picks in 29, and then, of course, swaps. Next up, we have Kyrie Irving lands with Lakers in a 3-team deal. Surprise, surprise. Kyrie Irving can't go anywhere but the Lakers, it seems like, at this point. The Lakers get Kyrie, Patrick Beverley, Rudy Gay. Love this for them already. Brooklyn gets Bojan Bogdanovic, Malik Beasley, and a 2023 second-round pick. Utah gets a 27 and 2029 first, unprotected from the Lakers. Max Christie, Talen Horton-Tucker, and then Russell Westbrook. I don't know why the Nets are doing this. They just decided they want Bojan Bogdanovic and Malik Beasley rather than first-round picks for Kyrie Irving. I guess I could see that. I can't imagine they'll send Kyrie to LA without getting one of those first-round picks, though. If you're the Jazz, are you willing to take on 1 year of Russ for just that one first-round pick? I might consider it, again, because he's expiring and Utah's not trying to win. You acquire him and get rid of him. I think a lot of fans have missed the point when we talk about Russell Westbrook being traded to some of these teams. They're not acquiring him to play him. They're acquiring him because he's an expiring contract and they will waive him or buy him out. You might be able to get away with doing that if the Jazz were giving back bad money themselves. They're giving up a bunch of expiring contracts here. And so you almost need those two first-round picks, in which case I would do this if I'm Utah. Let me make that clear. Get 2 Lakers first-round picks. Yes, it costs you Beasley and Bojan and Patrick Beverley. Maybe you're looking for a little bit more compensation, but Max Christie is an interesting flyer here, as is Talen Horton-Tucker. I would do this on the Lakers, hands down. It's not even an issue. It feels like we're going a stretch too far, though. Maybe Brooklyn would value Bojan Bogdanovic and Malik Beasley rather than a Lakers first, but those two are probably going to hit free agency in 23. Bojan's coming off the books, and Malik Beasley has a player option, so you have to pay them. You're not going to have Kyrie at that point. We'll even have Durant. I don't really love this for Utah or Brooklyn, but it's definitely interesting framework, and if you can talk yourself into Brooklyn really wanting to win now, even after trading Kyrie Irving, I think this could make sense. And if you're Utah, you're getting 2 of those Lakers first unprotected, plus Max Christie, plus even maybe they're interested in Talen Horton-Tucker. Certainly justifiable. It's the easiest yes for the Lakers here, though. Moving on, Kevin Durant completes the Hawks' big 3. I fave this already without even knowing what the package is. The Hawks get Kevin Durant. Brooklyn gets John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Onyeka Okongwu, AJ Griffin, 23, 24, and 29 first-round picks. This isn't enough for Kevin Durant. You're going to need more picks and swaps in there. I know the Hawks are limited in the picks that they could give up, which is why this trade is set up the way that it is. That Sacramento Kings first-round pick in 24, by the way, is protected until Kingdom Come. So you're not even guaranteed if you're the Nets to get that. John Collins is really good. DeAndre Hunter is really good. DeAndre Hunter is also going to need a new contract after this season. Onyeka Okongwu also really good. He might even be able to play a little bit with Nick Claxton. AJ Griffin, good shooter coming out of college. So the Nets are getting a little bit of everything here. They're getting a fringe all-star in John Collins, plus a bunch of interesting young pieces and some picks. I ultimately think they need more picks. And so if you're Atlanta here, what you kind of need to try and do is either send, I would say, DeAndre Hunter somewhere else to get more first to Brooklyn, or you're going to have to include Clint Capella in this deal and see how many firsts you can get for him. And can you stack that on top of this package to make it more attractive for Brooklyn that way? I do think that the Hawks could technically be a sleeper candidate if they're willing to just bankrupt all of their assets. And I'm talking, we have everything listed here, plus Clint Capella. And are you able to turn him into some first-round equity? I don't think that beats the best offer from the Raptors if they're in it. It's not going to be the Celtics package that has Jaylen Brown. Probably doesn't even be the Phoenix Suns package that has Mikal Bridges plus all their equity. But if some of those teams fall out, or if Brooklyn is really prioritizing that current all-star or fringe all-star, and let's say Jaylen Brown's off the table. Let's say Toronto's not offering Siakam or Scotty Barnes. I could certainly see them preferring this package, again, with more assets included, more swaps, and then additional first that you would need to get by way of moving other players in Atlanta. I could certainly see them preferring this package to whatever Phoenix or Miami might be offering. But it's still, a team like New Orleans could come over the top and beat them. A team like the Knicks, if they wanted to get involved. Would love to see Kevin Durant in Atlanta, though, with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. That is a caps lock core. The final trade that's up here, or Durant and Miles Turner both go to Miami. Oh, Heat fans have to probably love this already. Miami gets Kevin Durant and Miles Turner. Indiana gets Ben Simmons. Brooklyn gets Bam. Okay. Tyler Hero to Brooklyn. Duncan Robinson to Brooklyn. Nikola Jovic to Brooklyn. And 3 unprotected first-round picks to Brooklyn. Whoo! This is spicy. I need to think about this one for a second. Let's look at Indiana. Would I do this? I might roll the dice on Ben Simmons for Miles Turner, who's coming off the books this year. You've maybe surrounded him with enough shooting already. You have Tyrese Halliburton, Chris Duarte, Benedict Mathurin, Jalen Smith there. You are taking the ball out of Tyrese Halliburton's hands a little bit, but he is plug and play and can work off of anybody. And you also could probably argue that you need another lead playmaker there. I don't think it's Benedict Mathurin or Chris Duarte. Look, if I'm Indy, I would do this and try and reboot Ben Simmons' value. I'm not going to lie. Indy, done. I'm with it. Brooklyn, if you're getting Bam for Kevin Durant and Tyler Hero plus all these picks, yeah, I'm doing it. Is Bam beating out a package from Boston? Bam and Tyler Hero plus 3 firsts and Nikola Jovic. Even Duncan Robinson can still shoot the shit out of the ball. Wow. This is a package. I'm probably doing it if I'm Brooklyn. Now, if I'm Miami, am I doing it? I don't think Miles Turner comes close to replacing Bam. He's probably cheaper than Bam, though, and Turner's going to be a free agent after next season. But you're bankrupting your assets here, and maybe even some of your depth and your upside. Miles Turner's still fairly young. He's 26, I think, but he is what he is on offense. He's going to space the floor and be an incredible rim protector. If Kevin Durant's going to be healthy, Kevin Durant, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, if I'm the Heat, I'm probably saying no to this. You would have to keep Tyler Hero or some first round equity. I think Bam on his own, given the situation the Nets are in right now, should be more than enough to get this deal going. Now, if you are the Nets, you look at it from the perspective of, okay, well, you're trading Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant. So that is something to certainly factor in here. If I'm Brooklyn, I think I'm doing this deal. I guess it's tough because you are giving up Ben Simmons, but to get Bam Adebayo, who is better than Ben Simmons, and start your rebuild from there with all those first-round picks and Tyler Hero, I might be less inclined to say yes if I'm Miami. So I like this. I like this for the Pacers the most, the Nets the second most, and the Heat the third most. But this is a deal that, if you want Kevin Durant in Miami, this is probably how a package needs to look. They need to include Bam, and then the Nets also have to get rid of Ben Simmons, since Bam and Ben Simmons can't be both in Brooklyn right now. Let me know what you think about these deals. Again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so already. Follow us on the socials, join our Discord. All those links are in the podcast descriptions. Until next time, and like always, I leave you with the shout out to the one, the only, the legendary, the future Hall of Famer, Frank Ntilikina.